YouTube, Chelsea the Reading Outlaw here to do a December TBR for you guys. The first half of this TBR should probably not be a very big surprise if you guys watched my November wrap-up video. I came into the month of December knee-deep in a binge of a series that was new to me. And when I found it, it was a couple weeks away from the final book in the series being released, so I figured, you know what? If I'm going to do it, we're going to do it. And so I have been reading the Beyond series by Kit Rocha since the very end of November. I think I read the first one like November 25th, 26th. And it is now the 3rd of December when I'm filming this. And I am down to having 4 books to read plus the last one. I have 2 novellas, 2 books, and then the last one drops on December the 13th. So what I still have to read are Beyond Happily Ever After, Closed Doors, and Beyond Happily Ever After, Blank Canvas. Those are 2 novellas in the Beyond series. And then I have the last 2 novels, Beyond Ruin and Beyond Ecstasy. And then the final novel in the series, Beyond Surrender, is the one that comes out December 13th. If you didn't watch my November wrap-up and you have no idea what I'm talking about, the Beyond series is a series of post-apocalyptic, kind of very gritty, people of color and LGBTQ heavy erotica. And they are all set in the same kind of sector or the same kind of neighborhood outside the centralized city, and each story involves basically a main couple who all revolve in the centralized cast of characters. So we see each person overlap in each book, and then each book kind of focuses on a different relationship. Like I said, these books are erotica, so if that is not something that interests you, please know that going into them. But that project will all be done by the 13th of December. And so that still leaves lots and lots of time in the month to like figure out what it is that I'm going to be reading. And so I have one more kind of goal read in mind, and then just some stuff that I wanted to get to for fun. The goal reading is that I have been selected to go participate in the Kansas City Mock Prince and Mock Newbery Awards. This is essentially when a bunch of the Kansas library systems get together and host kind of an in-state vote on which books should win the Prince Award and the Newbery Award. These are both books that are honors that are given to books written for younger readers, both middle grade and young adult. I've read a lot of the books. Some of them I want to reread because I loved them so much the first time, and some I actually missed on the first go around, so I need to read them before judging. So the first book I'm going to be reading as part of that is Wolf Hollow by Lauren Wolk. I'm not entirely sure I know what this book is about, other than from what I remember on the inside flap, it is about a young schoolgirl who befriends a veteran from one of the world wars when one of her classmates becomes very cruel. And so the cover is gorgeous. All of this is gilt, as you can probably see. So I'm really looking forward to that one. That's one of the middle grade selections. Also on the middle grade list is The Wild Robot by Peter Brown. I have no idea what this is about. I'm intuiting, based on that wonderfully adorable cover art, that it has something to do with some kind of robot or mechanized system who's lost in nature, or who has somehow ended up on this kind of desolated island place, and he just kind of has to continue out his existence and come to reconcile himself with now living in a place that has no people. And then next on the list, I would like to get to The Best Man by Richard Peck. This is a really cute book about weddings and boys, and when boys have feelings about weddings. The main character's uncle is actually getting married to another man, and he's been asked to be one of the best men, and so he kind of has to navigate the girliness of weddings and his own feelings about it, and his own feelings about his family, and the larger ramifications of gay marriage, and all of these things geared in a middle grade way. I'm really, really looking forward to reading this. I have this one to read on audio, and I've heard very, very good things about the audiobook. And then I have a couple of the teen books. Those were the books I wanted to read for the Newbery. These are the books I want to read for the Prince Award. And both of these are rereads. And the first one is Exit Pursued by a Bear by E.K. Johnston. This is another heartbreaking book that has to deal with rape culture and the after effects of date rape and what happens in a small town when those kinds of events happen. And then the second one that I want to reread is Burn Baby Burn by Meg Medina. This takes place in the 70s in New York during the Summer of Sam serial killer, and a young girl who happens to fit the Summer of Sam description is kind of living and working and having her life around New York and dealing with the fear that comes with that at the same time that she's navigating being a teenager. So I really, really, really loved this one. It's got another beautiful cover, but this one struck me really hard when I read it earlier this year. So I'm excited to get back to it. And then the last couple books are books that I just want to read just because. I was looking at my shelves and I was like, you know what? I either haven't read that in a while or I've been meaning to get to it, so why not? The first one is one I have not read yet, and that is Stalking Darkness by Lynn Fwelling. This is the second book in the Night Runner series. We read the first book, Luck in the Shadows, for the Magical Space Pussycats podcast like 2 months ago, and I loved it. For those of you who listened to that episode, I absolutely loved it. Alec and Sarah Gill just gave me all the warm, fuzzy feelings. And I've heard that the further you get into the series, the more their feelings for each other intensify. So I'm really looking forward to getting to this one. Plus, I just got that 90s fantasy cover mass market paperback. Doesn't get a lot better than that, does it? And then the other two I want to read are both rereads. I just found them on my shelves and said, what the hell? It's the end of the month. 2016's been a really hard year. Let's do this. Let's go for it. So the first one is Nimona by Noelle Stevenson. If you haven't seen Nimona yet, this is the story of Nimona, who is a shapeshifter, and she goes to help Lord Ballister Blackheart defeat his arch nemesis, Sir Ambrosius Goldenloin. Yeah, it's great. And she is sassy and spunky, and she just wants the chance to try, and she's so incredibly funny and helpful, and she really kind of helps the two characters realize some things about each other. Plus there's some definite underlying currents of LGBTQ stuff going on. Sir Ambrosius Goldenloin and Sir Ballister Blackheart definitely have some sexual tension going on. It's just super fun to read on the page. And then my last pick, the last book that I would like to reread this month, I actually kind of completely forgot about it until I heard them talking about it on the Fangirl Happy Hour podcast. And they were talking about it, and I remembered how much I really, really adored it the first time I read it. And that is The Song of Achilles by Madeline Miller. This is the story of Achilles and Patroclus, which you may or may not remember from your Western Civ class. Patroclus was essentially Achilles' best friend / second in command. And this book kind of expands on how both of those people became who they are, how Achilles became the wonderful warrior that he was known to be, and of course, the homosexual relationship that unfolds between them. Because hi, this is my channel and this is what we read here. It is gorgeous. Not only does it look beautiful, not only is the story heartbreaking, but Madeline Miller does this thing where she's able to capture this kind of lyrical beauty that the Greek poetry had, and she's able to translate it into modern prose. And it is just so wonderful. I highly, highly recommend picking up The Song of Achilles if you never had. I'm looking forward to getting back to it. And that's it, guys. That's really all I have on deck for the month of December. It's a pretty light planning month in terms of reading, just because family's going to be in town. The holidays are upon us. My energy is draining as we approach the end of the year. You guys can look forward to on this channel some end of year wrap-up videos, a stats review, some looking ahead plans for 2017 and some of that stuff. But until then, let me know down below what you're reading in December. If you read any of these books, please feel free to leave me your thoughts. I will always take your comments, questions, concerns. You can hit me up all over social media, which is all in the down bar. I'm always here to talk books with you guys. Take care of yourselves. Take care of each other. Until next time, happy reading.